Hello guys, welcome back to a brand new YouTube video. It's me, DuckGod71, and I'm going to be reviewing the classic event and seeing if it's better than the hunt. So, as you may know, there was a hunt event, Roblox is bringing back events, and it was all cool, but it was kind of bad. You had to complete 100 games, and it took quite a while. Even made a tier list about it. But anyway, now I'm going to show you how hard each game was, and my opinion on how good their event was, with a rating of 1 to 10 for how good their event was, and a easy, medium, or hard for the difficulty of that. So, let's get right into it with our first game, Driving Empire. So for Driving Empire's quest, we added like a little new area where there's kind of classic Roblox things. Yeah, it looked pretty cool. Getting the 10 ticks was easy because the ticks was basically massive. There were races, you could do taxi deliveries, all that good stuff. But then you realize how you get the tokens. So there's a token, so there's kind of like a battle pass with like, where you have to get points. So, before I explain how hard it is to get the points, I'm going to tell you how many points you need for each token. So for the first token, you're going to need 150 total points. Then the second token, you only need 200 points or 50 more. For the third token, you'll need 400 points, which is 200 more than the previous. Then for the fourth token, you'll need 450 points, which is 50 more than the previous. And then for excuse me. And for the fifth one, you'll need 500 points. So when you claim one of these, your point doesn't reset. It just keeps going up. So, when the event came out, if you wanted to do a taxi delivery, which is kind of the best way of doing it, you get 2 points for each taxi. And each taxi delivery would usually take about 30 seconds. So then eventually they updated it, and now it's at 3 points. But still, getting around 6 points a minute, that'll take at least about 1 hour and 30 minutes. But of course you have to have that progress 2 times faster, which lets you progress 2 times faster, which I bought because it was only 45 Robux and it was a bit boring. So yeah, that's kind of it for Driving Empire. So for the quality of the event, I would give it about 5 out of 10. And the difficulty, easy. So let's move on to our next game, Adopt Me. And now we are looking at Adopt Me, which also had a quest. I can't say it was good, but it was a quest. So you had to go over to this weird guy in this kind of building I kind of forgot. And he gives you a quest. So he gives you this teapot, and you got to get it from, kind of the lowest thing to like an adult, which, if you didn't know, takes around 2 hours of your time. So basically, you're just doing quests, and then you level up your pet. So it's very boring. Oh yeah, and if you're wondering about the ticks, you just find it in buildings across the map. It's not really that difficult. Watching a Connor 3D guide would honestly be enough. So, yeah, that was very boring, to say the least. So I'm going to give Adopt Me a 3 out of 10. And the difficulty was easy. Now on to the next game, Tower Defense Simulator. So for Tower Defense Simulator's quest, all you had to do was complete 5 classic themed maps. And you were given towers, so you didn't really need to play the game before. But then there's just a little issue that I never mentioned. Level 1 is easy. Level 2 is easy. Level 3 is hard, which still I somehow was able to do by myself. Level 4 was also hard, and level 5 was also really annoying. which not the greatest thing because it was hard. I mean, I saw the effort that the devs put in, but it was way too hard for new players. I had to watch guides for the last two, which, yeah, you don't really want new players doing that. So that's kind of it for Tower Defense Simulator. I give it a rating of around maybe like 6 out of 10 because they did put in effort to their event, but the difficulty is hard. That's Tower Defense Simulator. And now let's look at Toilet Tower Defense. So for Toilet Tower Defense's quest, all you had to do was beat the special map in easy mode, attempt medium difficulty on the special map. You had to get 200 coins, which you got by completing the map. It was like 50 coins for easy difficulty and 200 for medium. I forgot the rest. And you had to kill 1,000 toilets. And once you did that, you'd unlock a special character. And then you had to kill 1,000 toilets with that special character. It was called the Classic Cameraman. So, yeah. And the ticks you could just find around the lobby. That's kind of the end for this one. I guess it was alright. So I'm going to say I give it maybe like a 5 out of 10. And the difficulty was easy. So let's move on to our next game, Restaurant Tycoon 2. Restaurant Tycoon 2's quest was simple yet annoying. So you had to serve like classic customers, like classic foods that you can get. So to get your first token, you have to serve 10 classic customers. If you wanted to get a second token, you have to serve 22 classic customers. If you want to get your third token, you'll need to serve 45 classic customers. To get your fourth token, 80 classic customers. And if you want to get your last token, 150 classic customers fed. So this event, I think it took me around like 4 hours. The ticks is very easy. You can get it in like the classic buildings that you find around the map. And yeah, it was very bad. So I'm going to give it a 3 out of 10. And the difficulty, easy. So let's move on to our next game, Clip It. Okay, so let's go over what Clip It did for their quest. So for Clip It, to get the tokens, you had to go around the different maps and find the hidden characters. So there was 5 hidden characters, and for each character you get a token. You just have to take like a video of them. And to find the ticks, you just have to go around those maps and find the ticks. So I'd recommend watching a guide if you want to do that, because it can be a little hard finding it on your own. But yeah, I'd say the difficulty is easy if you watch a guide, and medium if you don't. And I'd give it a 5 out of 10 because they put in some effort, but to be honest, not that much. So let's go on to the next game, a Dusty Trip. So for the Dusty Trip event, all you had to do was go to like the little classic area in the lobby, then go there, and then you're basically playing the game, but like all the models are classic. So what you got to do is like every 2,000 meters, there's like a little event you got to do. And each of those events that you complete, you get a token. So you get 5 tokens by the end of it, and then you'll be at 10,000 meters. So of course there will be zombies and other guys you need to defeat, but you are provided a lovely gun. And to get the ticks, you just have to find them along the way. So in the spawn, there's 1 ticks. In the first area, there's 2 ticks. In the area after that, there's 2 ticks. In the third area, there's 1 ticks. In the fourth area, there's 2. And in the last area, there's also 2. So yeah, you just have to make it over there, and along the way, you should stop at some locations. You should get some gas. You should get some food. And you need to kill the zombies first. So yeah, it's pretty fun. So I'm going to give this one, I'd say, around an 8 out of 10, and the difficulty is easy. So yeah, let's now move on to our next game, Dragon Adventures. So for the Dragon Adventures quest, you had to go round the starter world and you had to like collect some like classic eggs. Then once you collected a few, I believe it was 5 or maybe like 6 eggs, then there was like a meteor shower or like a meteor storm. Then you had to go to like one of the big meteors, which is marked on your map. Then you just have to destroy that meteor with your dragon, and then you get the token egg. So when you incubate that token egg, it only takes 15 seconds. Then when you get it, you've got one of the tokens. So you're probably thinking, how'd you get the other ones? Oh, here's something I didn't tell you. You had to do this on 5 worlds, including the one you just did. So you had to do that 4 more times. For each world, you'll also find 2 ticks eggs as well. So you've got to find those 2. You've got to find those ticks eggs and incubate them as well, all taking 15 seconds. So yeah. Fun fact. There was also a game pass of where it would tell you where the classic eggs are. Ooh, how wonderful! So I'm gonna rate this one a 4 out of 10 with the difficulty of easy, because it can take a while, maybe like 2 hours. I don't really know. I forgot how long it took me, but it did took me a little while. So yeah, let's go on to our next game, which is Gunfight Arena. So for Gunfight Arena's quest, you first had to wait for one of the classic maps to show up, and like the map picking, which basically came up every time everyone would pick it. So when you're in one of those maps, you first have to shoot 10 ticks. So then you've already got your 10 ticks, and then you can do the actual quest to get the tokens. So for the tokens, you need to get a certain amount of kills for each weapon. So there's like 5 guns / weapons. So for each weapon you do it, you'll get a token. So for example, you had like a rocket launcher, you had like a paintball gun, you had other cool stuff. So for some reason, I kept thinking that the other side, well, I was on the blue team, and the red team, we literally kept spawn camping them. I kept thinking they were bots. When I looked in the playlist, they are actually real players, I think. So yeah, I am going to rate this an 8 out of 10 because it was quite fun, and the difficulty is easy. So let's go on to the next game, which is the Magical Livetopia. Yeah, it ain't magical, but anyway, let's get on to that right now. So, for Livetopia's event, all you had to do was go to the supermarket, collect items that were on like a little shopping list, then once you got all the items, you check out the items and you put it in a bag, and then you kind of just go on like a little delivery scooter or whatever you call it, for example like a motorbike or whatever you want to call it, I'm not really sure what it was. But anyway, when you deliver it to the person, when they're happy, and then, ooh, you've done it one time. But here's the thing I didn't tell you. You have to do that 15 times. Yeah, with the items different every time. It's very easy, but it's, boring, and you just find the ticks around the map. So, I'm going to give this, I'm going to give it a 2. No, I'm not going to give it a 2. I'm going to give it a 1 out of 10. And it's difficulty of easy because I don't see the theming. According to the badge, it's a classic delivery. There's no way it's classic. It's just doing a normal job in the game. So yeah, let's go on to our next game. So let's go on to our next game, which will be Blade Ball, and yeah. Blade Ball. Okay, so now we're looking at Blade Ball, where it was very boring. All you had to do was do simple quests, for example, like block the ball, win a game. Well, it's not really that easy. You have to like, kill opponents. There was a boss fight that it may make you complete a few times. You had to collect ticks. Yeah, it was very boring. So you could get a token for getting 15 XP, a token at 30 XP, a token at 60 XP, a token at 90 XP, and another token at 120 XP. So what I didn't do this in like a full public server. I went to like a small server, and there was some nice people there, and I just did it in that server. So yeah, I kind of helped the others, and they helped me do the quests. So yeah, I'd give this a 2 out of 10, and the difficulty was easy. Or medium, depending on what server you're in, but I'd give it easy. And now, let's move on to our next game, Arsenal. So for Arsenal's quest, they added like a new event map of where it was all classic. You spawned in a building, let's make it across the city, and then you had to get to this noob factory. Now, you get a token from completing the quest, but you can also get the 4 other tokens by beating it in under 15 minutes. By the way, all of these you don't have to do in a single run, so thank God. You also get a token for beating it solo. You also get another token for getting all the ticks. You also get another token for beating it only using the classic pistol. Now, I really enjoyed this, so I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10 and the difficulty to medium, as it was a little challenging doing it with the classic pistol. But you will eventually get used to it after you do it for 3 runs. So that's it. Now next we'll be looking at Dress to Impress. How did these games get in a classic event? I don't know, but let's go on to that right now. So Dress to Impress had a very simple quest. All you had to do was find the 12 ticks around the changing room and the intermission lobby. Then once you got all those, you can go in a portal, complete an obby, and then you collect a few tokens along the way. There's not really any hidden tokens. That's all you do. It only takes about maybe half an hour, maybe 20 minutes. It's very quick. That's all you need to do. So let's move on to our next game. But before that, I rate it a 6 out of 10 and a difficulty of easy. But now, let's successfully go to the wondrous Bed Wars. So next up, we have Bed Wars, of where you spawn in with 4 to 5 other players. That you have a bed, you have some iron and some other stuff, and then basically you have to protect your bed from the penguins that are coming in to chase you. Then you get to kill them with your sword. Now the thing is, these penguins are quite hard to kill, and unless if you have a team that knows what they're doing, you may die a few times. Your bed may get destroyed a few times, and this could just be annoying and miserable. The ticks was very easy to get. You could find 2 in their little event map, and you could find 8 in the lobby. So therefore, I give this a 5 out of 10 because it was kind of fun when I eventually got it, and I give the difficulty of hard. Now we're going to go to our final game, Bee Swarm Simulator. Finally, we are looking at Bee Swarm. So in the lobby, there was a little portal that you can go through, and then there's a little lobby for the new mini game you got to complete. So you can do it in a team of 4, which you basically had to do. So when you got in there, you could buy weapons of bricks. Then there'd be some slimes and zombies coming. Then you had to kill them before they got to your hive. If 10 of them got to your hive, then you lose. You get a token every 2 rounds. You can find some ticks. You can find 2 ticks in there. You can find a few ticks in the lobby for that area. And for the normal Bee Swarm map, you can find some there. So it was a little difficult. So let's rate this. I'm going to rate it a 7 out of 10 as I did enjoy it. And I'm going to put the difficulty to medium. So yeah, that's the last game. The next thing is my opinion. And we'll be doing that soon. By soon, I mean right now. Now that I've completed the classic event, I've completed every single game, then now I'm going to show you, or tell you, my opinion. So I quite enjoyed the event. This event took me around 23 hours. Is that how much recorded footage I have of this game? Yeah, I know, it took a long time. I think that's a similar time it took me to do the hunt, to be honest. But anyway, I quite enjoyed it. Some games weren't the best. However, some games did do a great job, like Arsenal. So yeah, Thanks for watching this video. This video took a few hours to edit, and I will see you in the next one.